Hey everyone, and welcome back to my second part tutorial of this dragon. In this tutorial we will make the arms, the legs, the belly, the corns and the tail. On the first part we made the body and the head. I used different color. So we will start now with the arms. So if you're making this one exactly, you just use your red yarn. If you chose to make this one, just continue with the purple yarn. So for the arms, we're going to make we're going to make a magic circle, and I find it easy to do it this way. You can do a magic circle however you know and like. So for row 1 we're going to make 6 single crochets into the magic circle. So through the magic circle, that's 1, that's 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Take the end of the yarn and pull. Okay. So we finished row 1 and we have 6 single crochets around. Take your stitch marker and put it at the last stitch that you made. Okay, now for row number 2, we're going to make an increase on the first stitch and then 5 single crochets. So go into the first stitch. If you don't know where it is, you can count from the back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. So your hook into the first stitch and just make an increase, which means 2 single crochets into the same stitch. So that's 1. Now we're going to make 5 single crochets. So single crochet in the next stitch, 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 and for the last stitch take out the stitch marker and just make a single crochet. So we finished row 2 and we have total 7 single crochets around. Take your stitch marker and put it at the last stitch that you made. Now what we're going to do is 9 rows of 7 single crochets. That means just 1 single crochet in each stitch around for total 9 rows. I will do 1 row with you and then you go and do 8 more rows. So let's start. Single crochet in the first stitch, single crochet in the second stitch, single crochet in the third stitch, single crochet in the fourth stitch, single crochet in the fifth stitch, single crochet in the sixth stitch, and last stitch take out your stitch marker and just make a single crochet. So that was row 3. We have 7 stitches around. Now you keep going and do 8 more rows of 7 single crochet in each row, which means 1 single crochet in each stitch around, and I will meet you before I finish the 8th row. So I'm about to finish the 7th row, and for last stitch take out your stitch marker and make a single crochet. Okay, now we're going to finish off. Make a slip stitch into the next stitch, chain 1 and cut your yarn, leave tail to sew it to the body. So that's one arm. You go and make another one of those just the same, and we will continue to the legs. So here we have 2 arms. Just note I'm not filling them at all. So now let's go and continue to the legs. So for the legs, if you're making this one, you just continue with the red yarn, and if you're making like me, you just go with the purple color. So for the legs, we're going to start with the magic circle. And make 6 single crochets into the same the magic circle. So through the magic circle, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Pull the end of the yarn. So we finished row 1 and we have 6 single crochets around. Take your stitch marker and put it into the last stitch that you made. For row number 2, we're going to make 6 increases. So into the first stitch, make an increase. That's 1. Into the next stitch, increase. That's 2. Next stitch, increase. That's 3. Next stitch, increase 4. Next stitch, increase number 5. And for last stitch, take out your stitch marker and just make an increase. Okay, so we finished row 2 and we have 12 single crochets around. Take your stitch marker and put it in the last stitch that you made. For row number 3, we're going to make single crochet on the first stitch and then increase on the second stitch for total 6 times until we get to the stitch marker. So let's do it twice together. Single crochet to the first stitch and an increase into the second stitch. That's one time. Let's do it one more time together. Single crochet in the next stitch and an increase in the next stitch. Keep going until you get to the end of the row. I will meet you before I finish. So I'm about to finish the row. Single crochet and now increase into the last stitch. So we finished row 3 and we have 18 single crochets around. Take your stitch marker and put it back into the last stitch. Now for row number 4, we're going to make 1 single crochet in each stitch around. That would be total 18 single crochets. So let's do it together. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and for the last stitch take out the stitch marker and make a single crochet. So we finished row 4 and we have 18 single crochets around. Take back your stitch marker into the last stitch. For row number 5 we're going to do back loops only. One back loop single crochet in each stitch around until we get to the stitch marker. So you take only the back loops. That's 1, 2, that's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, keep going, only back loops. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15,
כמעט הורדתי בחוץ את השורט ונכנסתי.
16, 17, and for the last one you take out the stitch marker and make single crochet at the back loop only. So now we finished row 5 and we have 18 single crochets around that we made from back loops only. Now for row number 6 we're going to make one single crochet in each stitch around. That would be total 18 single crochets. So let's do it together. One single crochet in each stitch around. That's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and for the last stitch take out the stitch marker and just make a single crochet. So we finished row 6 and we have 18 single crochets around. Take your stitch marker and put it into the last stitch. Now for row number 7 we're going to make single crochet in the first stitch and then a decrease for total 6 times. So let's do it twice together. So single crochet in the first stitch and a decrease. That's one time. Let's do it one more time together. Single crochet in the next stitch and a decrease into the next stitch. Well, okay, that's twice. Keep going until the end of the row when you get to the stitch marker. I will be back before I finish the row. So I almost finished the row. Now I'm going to do a decrease. Okay, So we finished row 7 and we have 12 single crochets around. Take your stitch marker and put it back into the last stitch that we made. For row number 8, we're going to make 4 single crochets and then a decrease for 2 times. So let's do this row together. Single crochet 1, single crochet in the second stitch, single crochet in the third stitch, single crochet in the fourth stitch, and a decrease. That's 1 time. Let's do it again. Single crochet in the next, 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 and for the last decrease just take out your stitch marker and make a decrease. So now at the end of row 8 we should have 10 single crochets. Now we're going to make 5 more rows of 10 single crochets, which means 1 single crochet in each stitch around. I will do row with you and then you continue 4 more rows. So just 1 single crochet in each stitch. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and for the last stitch take out the stitch marker and just do a single crochet. Take your stitch marker and put it in the last stitch that you made. Now we're going to make 4 more rows the same way. Just do 1 single crochet in each stitch around for 4 more rows, and I will meet you before I finish the 4th row. So I'm about to finish the 4th row, and for the last stitch take out the stitch marker and do a single crochet. So now at the end of row 13 we should have 10 single crochets around. Now just pull it like that a little and we're going to fill the leg. So just stuff the leg. Okay, so now go back to the work and put your stitch marker into the last stitch that we do. Now for row number 14 we're going to make 3 single crochets and then a decrease for 2 times. So let's do this row together. Single crochet in the first stitch, single crochet in the second stitch, single crochet in the third stitch, and a decrease. That's 1 time. Let's do it 1 more time. Single crochet on the first, single crochet on the second, single crochet on the third, and for the last decrease take out the stitch marker and make a decrease. Okay, so we finished row 14 and we have 8 single crochets around. Take back your stitch marker into the last stitch, and now we're going to do 2 more rows of 8 single crochets, which means 1 single crochet in each stitch around. So let's do those 2 rounds together. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and last stitch, that's 8. Take back your stitch marker, put it on the last row, on the last stitch, and we're going to make the same one more row. So just single crochet in each stitch around. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and last stitch, that's 8. So we finish the leg. Now we're going to make a slip stitch into the next stitch, chain 1, and cut the yarn, leaving tail to sew the leg to the body. Pull, there you go. Now you go and make another leg. You can just fill a bit more. Go on and do just the same as this one, and I will meet you once we have 2 legs. So there you go, here we have 2 legs. Now what we're going to do is those cones. If you're making this one, use orange yarn. If you're making this one, use red yarn. So I'll be using red yarn. So for the cones, we're going to start with the magic circle. And do 4 single crochets into the magic circle for row number 1. That's 3 and 4. Pull the end of the yarn. Okay, so row 1 we have 4 single crochets around. Take your stitch marker and put it into the last stitch. For row number 2, we're going to do single crochet in the first stitch, increase in the second stitch for total 2 times. So into the first stitch, if you don't know where it is, you count from the back. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So you go into the first stitch and do a single crochet. Next stitch, you're going to make an increase. Next stitch, a single crochet. And for the last stitch, take out the stitch marker and just make another increase. Okay, so we finished row 2 and we have 6 single crochets around. Stitch marker back into the last stitch that we made. For row 3, we're going to make an increase into the first stitch and then 5 single crochets. Let's do it together. So increase into the first stitch and then single crochet in each stitch for total 5 stitches. That's 1. Next stitch, single crochet, that's 2. Next stitch, single crochet, that's 3. Next stitch, single crochet, and for the last stitch just make another single crochet. So we finished row 3 and we have 7 single crochets around. Put your stitch marker back into the last stitch, and for row number 4 we're going to make single crochet, single crochet, increase, and then 4 more single crochets. We will do it together. So single crochet in the first stitch, single crochet in the second stitch, increase into the third stitch, and then you make 4 more single crochets, 1 single crochet in each stitch for total 4. That's 1 single crochet, next stitch single crochet, next stitch single crochet, and for the last stitch you're going to make a single crochet. Take back your stitch marker into the last stitch. So at the end of row 4 we should have 8 single crochets. For row number 5 we're going to make an increase into the first stitch and then 7 single crochets. Let's do it together. So increase into the first stitch, and now 1 single crochet in each stitch for the next 7 stitches. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and for the last one you take out the stitch marker and do the last single crochets. So we finished row 5 and we have 9 single crochets around, stitch marker into the last stitch, and for the last row we're going to make 1 single crochet in each stitch around. That would be total of 9 single crochets. So just 1 stitch in each stitch, 1 single crochet in each stitch until we get to the stitch marker. That's 8, and last one single crochet. Now we're going to finish off. Just slip stitch into the next stitch, chain 1 and cut the yarn, leave tail to sew it to the head. Now you pull tight. So that's one corner. Go and do another one of those and I will meet you once I have 2. So here we have 2 corns. Now you put it also on the side, and we're going to work now on the belly. If you're making this one, use a yellow yarn. If you're making this one, use pink yarn. So I'm using the pink yarn, and to start the belly you're going to make a magic circle. And for row 1 we're going to make 8 single crochets into the magic circle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So you pull the end of the yarn and at the end of row 1 we have 8 single crochets. You take your stitch marker and put it into the last stitch that we made. Also for the belly we will work in spiral. So for row 2 we're going to make 8 increases until we get to the stitch marker. So into the first stitch you go and make an increase and keep going, increase every stitch around. So second stitch is an increase, third stitch increase, fourth stitch increase, fifth increase, 6, another increase, sorry, 7 stitch, increase, and for the last stitch take out the stitch marker and just make an increase into the last stitch. So we finished row 2 and we have 16 single crochets around. Take your stitch marker and put it at the last stitch that you made. For row number 3, we're going to make single crochet in the first stitch and then increase into the second stitch for total 8 times until we get to the stitch marker. So let's do it twice together. Single crochet in the first stitch and then increase into the next stitch. That's one time. Let's do it one more time together. Single crochet on the next, increase on the next. So we finished twice. Keep going all the way until you get to the stitch marker. I will meet you before I finish the row. So I'm about to finish the row. I'm just doing single crochet, and now last stitch I'm going to make an increase. So we finished row number 3, and at the end of the row we should have 24 stitches around. Take your slip stitch and bring it into the last stitch that we made. For row number 4 and last, we're going to make single crochet in the first stitch, single crochet in the second stitch, and an increase into the third stitch. Oh, I'm sorry, because we want it to be a circle shape, we better do increase onto the first stitch and then single crochet on the second and single crochet on the third stitch for total 8 times until we get to the stitch marker. Let's do it twice together. So this time we start with an increase into the first stitch, single crochet in the second stitch, and single crochet into the third stitch. That's one time. Let's do it again together. Increase into the next stitch, single crochet into the next stitch, and single crochet into the next stitch. Keep doing it until you finish the row and get to the stitch marker. I will meet you before I finish the row. So I'm about to finish the row. I'm going to do now increase, then a single crochet, and for the last stitch take out the stitch marker and just make a single crochet. So there you go, here is our belly. We're going to finish off, so you slip stitch into the next stitch, chain 1 and cut the yarn, leaving tail to sew. Okay, what's left for us now is only the tail. If you're making this dragon, you're going to use red yarn. If you're making the second one, you're going to use a purple yarn. Oh, sorry, and we also have to make the muzzle. I almost forgot. To watch the tutorial for the tail and the muzzle, please look at part 3. I will put a link down below. So see you in the last part.